Hey guys, it's Dave from Innovate ImageWorks here, and today we're going to be talking to you about camera movement. Now, the best way to make your next production more impactful is through using proper camera movement. Each different move that you use, no matter how smooth or how jerky, is going to affect the story that you're telling. Now, I've seen a lot of tutorials before, and I know there's one thing you guys want to see, and that's a beautiful foreign girl running through the scenes for the examples. We got this girl, Slovenka. She came all the way here from... So Slovenka had some visa complications, and she's gone. Guess we're gonna make do. Can you stand in?
No.
Come on.
No.
The most basic kind of camera setup is gonna be handheld. No need for any extra gear. The only thing that's kind of hard about that is that you're gonna have a very shaky shot. That's because you've only got 2 points of contact. Now, before we try to fix that shake, remember what I said before. Maybe that's what you want for the shot. Maybe you're shooting something chaotic or a little spastic. Just show you an example right here.
I'm not happy. I'm cold.
All right, so that's super shaky. If we want to stabilize that shot, maybe it's not working with our story, this is my favorite tool right here to use for that. Adds a third point of contact and also magnifies your screen. So you can do things like pull focus easier. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So as you can see, it's a lot more stable when you add that third point of contact. Something else that a lot of people use is a monopod. Super simple, it's basically a stripped down tripod, and you can use that for a third point with the ground in your 2 hands. But let's move on to something I want to talk to you a lot more about. It's my favorite 3 tools for achieving some really cool camera movement. First being the slider. So a slider is a great way to achieve some subtle movement in your shot. Here's a slider set up on a tripod, and we're going to go side to side and show you the kind of effect you can get. Cool. So a slider is a really great way to achieve some professionalism in your shots. I use it a lot of time for establishing shots just to add a little bit of movement. Here's some other shots I've achieved with a slider. Something important to understand about camera movement, the wider your focal length, the more accentuated any camera movement you do is going to be. So shooting the same shot we just did with the 24mm as opposed to the 50 is going to give a really different result. So 24mm. So as you can see with the 50mm, it seems like a lot less movement is appearing in the shot, and that's because we're cutting out a lot of the frame and essentially a lot of the foreground. When you're doing any kind of sliding shot, what you're getting is a parallax effect, where the background and foreground are moving around the subject. You're going to want to make sure that you've got a really defined foreground and background to get the best slider shot. So the next tool I want to talk about is a jib. Now, you might not have heard of a jib before, but you've definitely seen a shot in a movie that uses a jib. It's usually a 50-foot crane that flies down through trees, telephone poles, and lands perfectly on a scene. Now, we don't all have access to a 50-foot jib, but here's a cheap, probably about 4 or 5 foot jib. It's got some really cool results for me so far. Here's what you can achieve using something like this. So this kind of jib is really good for lighter cameras like DSLRs, but when I got a new camera that was a lot heavier, I upgraded to something like this, which is a Kessler crane. 12 feet, way more stable, and I feel a lot safer hanging it over people's heads. Here's a red Scarlet on top of a Kessler crane, and we're gonna fly it with 75 pounds of weight. So there's a lot of really cool moves you can achieve with the slider and the jib. The only thing I don't like about the slider and the jib is that you're often locked down to a location because of the tripod component, which is why this next piece of gear is so awesome to me. It essentially allows you to run wild while still achieving fluid movement, almost like you're flying. So the key to a good Steadicam shot is going to be counterbalance. You're going to want to make sure the bottom and top are perfectly weighed out. You're also going to want to use your fingers here to kind of make any micro adjustments you might need to make. So when you're Steadicamming, it's also really important to know that any vibration is going to be magnified in the camera lens. And what I mean by that is, if you're shooting with a 11 to 16 millimeter like this, your vibrations are going to be pretty minimal and you're going to get a smoother shot. But if you try Steadicamming with maybe a 35 millimeter, it's going to be a lot rockier. All right guys, thanks for checking out this video. Hopefully it's inspired you to try something new next time you're filming. And just remember, when you're telling a story, choose the shot that's best for the story. Don't just try to get the coolest shot you can. And yeah, if you guys have anything you want to ask me, feel free to Facebook me and or send me a Twitter message. Yeah, and best of luck with your shooting, guys. I'm sure we're fine.